Hello. Welcome back. Dana White, we've been waiting all day, you know what I'm saying? He just dropped all these next we have a bunch of Apex cards. We're going back to New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? We're going to China, we're going to Perth, we're going to Winnipeg, and we're going to the Meta Apex. Let's just go over them. Starting off with UFC Macau in China. Main event, Song Yadong versus Figueiredo. I feel like this fight's just been a long time coming. I'm surprised this fight hasn't already happened. But I'm gonna give early predictions for all these fights, just like off the top of my head or whatever. But between these two, I'm gonna go Song Yadong probably by decision. Figgy just seems to not be able to. Well, how do you say? Just like make a good game plan that works throughout a fight. Or if that doesn't work, or he does have a decent chance, which he never really does, he gets injured somehow. So we're not gonna go with Figgy. Listen, I have my stripe right here because of Figueiredo, bro. I love Figueiredo. Don't get me wrong. Prime Figgy is a beast. Like that's just very inspirational. You know what I'm saying? But he's not gonna do Song Yadong bad. Definitely gonna be a decision though, but it's gonna be a good 5 round war or someone sub someone. But I'm gonna go Song Yadong. Co-main event: Zhang Ming Yang returns versus Alonzo Minifield. I'm gonna go Zhang Ming Yang. He's obviously just probably gonna like steamroll him. I could see Alonzo Minifield kind of coming out real fast and actually getting caught. Like I forgot who he did that up against, but you know that one fight where he got like knocked out instantly. Might have been. I don't want to say the wrong name. I had a feeling it was Curtis Blades, but I'm probably wrong. Um, I could see Zhang Ming Yang just like getting him in and out of there. Obviously, him getting losing to not Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker from leg kick isn't the best look. You know what I'm saying? Basically, almost got out grappled by Johnny Walker. Is pretty crazy too, but still gonna go Zhang Ming Yang. Next fight on that card, the featured fight, we got Sergey Pavlovich versus Taliesin Teixeira. This one's gonna be good. I could see Sergey actually understanding that since he's been so reserved after getting knocked out of Tom Aspinall, he's been losing his fights because of that. So I could see him like rekindling that fire and actually trying to like just rush in there. Because dude, fighting Taliesin Teixeira, who's just tall, he will pick Sergey apart for 3 rounds and just like do what he needs to do or whatever. He probably is the better grappler, but I don't think it'll go to a grappling match or be much grappling at all. But sorry. But like to fight a tall person, you kind of got to get all up in there, getting that like close, almost clinch, dirty boxing range, rain uppercuts, or just coming with overhands, or you know what I'm saying. Like you got to be wild in there. You got to clip them. You got to fucking reach. You know what I'm saying. But I'm gonna go Sergey Pavlovich chinning Taliesin Teixeira, similar to how Derek Lewis did, but maybe not as cool. Next card. These are not in the order. I'm just going through them or whatever. UFC 328 in Newark, New Jersey. Obviously, the main event. Hamzat versus Strickland. Strickland officially jumps Nasruddin Imavov to just get the title shot. They really need to make Imavov versus Drakus. I think that's the fight to make. Everyone's been saying Brendan Allen versus Drakus. I like that fight too. There's some beef there. It promotes good, but I think you gotta make it clear. You gotta make it clear, and I think Drakus versus Nasruddin is probably the fight to make. Early prediction for that. I'm going with Strickland. I'm just gonna go with Strickland. I'm literally committing like an act of treason if I don't go with Strickland. So that's like basically most of the thought to it. We'll hit the 8 ball. Am I tripping? It says outlook not so good. Anyway. Yeah, we're gonna go Strickland still. I think Hamzat's not gonna be able to figure him out. I think he'll definitely take him down. I think Strickland's takedown defense might be a little bit enough. Plus, he does have like that insider sort of knowledge over because seeing Hamzat train when they train together, whatever. Even though it was just for a little bit, but that still is some sort of insight. But obviously the realistic outcome here is Hamzat, sub. But it is what it is. Next fight, co-main event. Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I already went over this. I forget what my prediction was, but right now I'm feeling Volkov. It's still early predictions. I haven't made my final predictions or anything yet, but I'm gonna go with Volkov. Probably out tit for tatting him into a decision. This probably isn't gonna be a good one unless, somehow Volkov subs Waldo or Waldo chins Volkov. I feel like those are kind of like the only likely outcomes besides the decision, but I'm still gonna go with Volkov subbing Waldo. That probably makes the most sense to me personally. Featured fight, or assume they said the bout list could change. Joaquin Buckley versus Sean Brady. Thank God they're not in the fucking Apex. Buckley does not deserve that shit, bro. And come on, these are two high-ranking welterweights. Sean, both low-key coming off a loss, but it is what it is. This is still a fair shot for not Sean Brady. You know, he's fighting down. But for Joaquin Buckley to get back up in the rank, Sean Brady's probably like number 5 or maybe number 6 or somewhere around there. So this would be a good comeback win for Buckley. And I am going to go with Buckley here by finish. Same shit Michael Morales did. He's just going to blitz him, find that chin. I could see him rocking him with kind of like a right hook from southpaw. You know, Buckley's a southpaw. And Sean Brady kind of shoots, and I could see Buckley kind of like just spazzing on him, kind of like throwing an uppercut, but also kind of like almost sprawling and kind of like just finishing Brady. So I'm going to go with a Buckley by KO in the first or second round. Unless he hasn't been working on his grappling, which, come on, he's got to have been. Next fight, the rematch we didn't really need, but we got Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. I'm going to go Bogdan Guskov in this rematch. You never know, though. Jan Blachowicz, obviously Polish power, you know what I'm saying? He's basically just a wall. I don't understand how this was a draw the first time, but I kind of do. Remembering the fight, it was kind of just bullshit, and we could have another bullshit fight. Imagine, don't even let me fucking put that out there in the universe, but imagine 2 draws between these two. And I'm just going to go to the next one. King Green versus Jeremy Stephens. And, I'm loving that they're bringing Jeremy Stephens back for these good scraps. He is losing, but he's still putting up a damn good fight, you know what I'm saying? And this is better than him, fighting bare knuckle and really putting his health at crazy risk. Fighting is still fighting at the end of the day, but bare knuckle is where that damage gets done. But, I saw Jeremy Stephens at UFC Iowa, and I thought that was like he's going to be his retirement fight or like his last fight in the UFC, or it was like a one-fight contract, you know what I'm saying, because they're fighting in Des Moines and they needed some Iowa representation, you know what I'm saying. And bringing back the fact that I met his wife or something at the airport. She saw my UFC shirt. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the wife of Lil Heathen, Jeremy Stephens." I was like, "Oh right, that's crazy," you know what I'm saying. But and then we were just awkwardly kind of standing next to each other outside, waiting for our rides to pick us up. But it is what it is. It's not that crazy. But prediction for that one, I'm gonna go King Green. I don't think I see Jeremy really finishing King Green here, but I want to be surprised if he did, because he got crazy. Actually, no, fuck it. Jeremy Stephens flatline KOs fucking Bobby Green live in Newark, New Jersey, and gets a 100K bonus. That's what's gonna happen. Then next card they announced, UFC Perth, Carlos Prates versus JDM. Obviously going to be a good scrap. Going with JDM by out-vetting Carlos Prates. This really comes down to the gas tank. I think the boxing of JDM and mixing up the leg kicks is going to be enough to kind of keep up with Carlos Prates striking-wise. I think JDM is actually a better striker than Prates. Prates does have crazy Muay Thai, but I think the way that JDM kind of applies pressure and mixes up the body with the head and finds that shit will just kind of wrap around Prates. If I see him up against the cage or something, I could see him kind of kind of putting up high guard, and I could see JDM kind of hitting around it and really dropping him and maybe even finding the TKO. But yeah, I'm saying that. I'm saying JDM finishes Prates live on Paramount Plus in Perth. That's gonna be a good one. Could see that happening in the 3rd or 4th round, maybe 5th. You know what I'm saying? If shit is closer than we think it is. And then the co-main event. This is crazy. Manuel Torres pulled out. Dariush is looking for an opponent. Boom! Perth. Quillen Sal killed, basically on short notice. I don't know when this is. It didn't write down the date. Rookie mistake. But we're just gonna. It sounds cooler when we say it's on short notice, and Quillen Sal kill's built like that. So that's how we're rocking with this. But this is gonna be a crazy fight. I'm going Sal killed. Still finding that KO. I don't want to say another head kick. I could really see him I could just say mixing up the body, blah, 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 but nah, I don't know. I could see him just finding it somehow. I could really see him subbing Beneil too. Actually, I take that back. I do not see him subbing him. I think it's by KO. It's the chin, bro. It has to be literally an overhook or some shit like what Benoit did, or I could literally see. Ooh, Quillen needs a knee highlight. Quillen Sal killed. First round, knee to the face. Destroys Dariush. Next fight, we got UFC Winnipeg. Already went over this one, but they added 2 more fights, or announced 2 more fights. But Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns. Obviously, gonna go with Mike Malott, but he lost to Neil fucking Magny, I'm pretty sure. So Gilbert Burns needs this win as well. So, my fan, me, I want to go with Gilbert Burns, but we're gonna have to go with Mike Malott here. Unless the grappling makes a difference and Gilbert smudges for 5 rounds. But Gilbert gets tired. So does Mike. But Mike's younger and closer to the prime of his career than what Gilbert Burns is. But so that's why I'm going with Mike Malott. New announced co-main, not new, but announced Charles Jourdain versus Kyler Phillips. Let's go. Charles Jourdain all day. I could see him subbing Kyler Phillips. They're both crazy grapplers. Charles Jourdain, actually, nah. I think they're too balanced in the grappling. I could see Charles kind of, honestly, I'm going to be real. I can kind of see Kyler kind of having the upper hand in the grappling, but do not undermine Charles' jiu-jitsu or just scrambling ability. But I could see him really rocking up Kyler Phillips up against the fence with an uppercut or something. Just an elbow or something crazy, because Charles Jourdain is like that. He's actually nasty out, especially in close clinching range. I could see him finishing up with an elbow, cutting Kyler Phillips bad. That shit really rocks him. And then somehow wrapping in a rear naked choke, and then just Kyler Phillips is just done. So I expect Charles Jourdain to get spectacular damage, spectacular finish via submission. I'm gonna say that in the 3rd round. This is gonna be a good close scrap in my opinion. Then they announced Jasmine Judavicius versus Korean Silva. I don't really care, but will Jasmine Judavicius shine out in Winnipeg in Canada on home turf basically? Without a doubt, it says so. Congratulations, Jasmine Judavicius. You've already been selected to win your fight against Korean Silva, who is actually crazy though. So that's gonna be a good scrap. Then they announced 3 Apex cards. We're going to go over real quick. Just the main events of them, not many fights in them or whatever. Obviously, they still got some matchmaking to do. But first one is Yusuf Zalal versus Aljamain Sterling. That one's going to be good. Obviously, going to be a lot of scrambling, a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of wrestling, a lot of grappling in general. I could see Aljo probably having a slight... Actually, nah, I'm lying. I think Yusuf Zalal kind of has a little bit of the better striking. Just now, because Aljo nowadays really just tries to go for the grappling. He is a big smudger, not going to lie. But he at least does try to work towards submissions, which is hard when, you're fucking tired. So, can't really blame him for not finishing all the time. But I'm going to go Aljamain Sterling here, just outvetting Yusuf Zalal. I do not want Yusuf Zalal to win or proceed further anywhere near the title. Not trying to hate, but he's just not very entertaining to me. Just kind of seems like he makes the game plan to do the least but still pass by, which is a good thing because he's winning. And like I said, I'm not hating, but it's just not the most entertaining to me personally. But yeah, I'm still gonna go with Aljo, probably just out grappling him, getting more control time, out grappling him, and maybe getting some decent ground and pound and a couple submission attempts. Probably not finding one though. Basically sunning him. Imagine basically holding him down in a body triangle and not getting rear naked chokes. Then the next one, Bilal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim. That one's going to be good. I'm going to go Bilal Muhammad by decision here. What else do you really do? Don't really care for Gabriel Bonfim. This is literally not a nobody versus nobody fight because Bilal was champion. He did what he did. Leon Edwards finally got him out of there, but I'm still going to go Bilal Muhammad by decision. I do fuck with Bilal a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just fuck, you know what I'm saying? He's funny. The Chicago-ness from him. I really fuck with that. Am I correct? Bilal Muhammad by decision. Without a doubt. Oh my God. Without a doubt. So, the universe has chosen Bilal Muhammad to win by decision. Will it be split? Reply Hazy, try again. Will it be a split decision? Cannot predict now. We're just gonna respect it. I'm not gonna beg. Then the final one here. Arnold Allen versus Melquizel Costa. Vitiligo versus autism. Battle of the disabilities, basically. Bro, Melquisel's on such a run. I don't even want to count him out or like attempt to count him out at all. But I think Arnold Allen is just better in my truthful opinion. I'm still gonna go with Melquiselle Acosta via just like decision probably, but just the momentum kind of has written scorecard vibes on it. Like, let's go Arnold Allen, here's get this guy in here. You know what I'm saying? But not really at the same time. I don't really know what I'm saying. My prediction though, Melquiselle Costa finding the win via decision is gonna, because this is a good high level close scrap in featherweight. So yeah, that's it. I don't really know how to expect that fight to play out because I know they're gonna like grapple and be on the feet, but like I could see Allen kind of like sprawling, not even really scrambling, but sprawling stuff in that, and just like standing back up. I don't think he really wants to grapple with Costa, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Arnold Allen is an MMA guy, he's very valid everywhere, but I'm still gonna go Costa via, you know what I'm saying, a unanimous decision, probably winning 29-28. That's it from me though. Hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm trying to be ASAP with this because I was waiting just like you guys were. So these are my thoughts on them. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying, at DIORPIUM. Why would you not follow me? I train all the time. I'm gonna fight soon. Why would you not pay attention to that? Thank you. Have a good day.